Hello, this is Ayako Sekiguchi from Wellness Kitchen. This time, I'll introduce the ultimate way to store vegetables so that their nutrition changes depending on how you eat them. I'll introduce a very convenient way to store vegetables that not only keeps them fresh and easy to use, but also helps you get nutrients more efficiently and achieve effects tailored to your needs. It only takes a little extra effort, so it's much easier than preparing side dishes in advance. But if you do this, cooking will become so much easier. And if it also boosts the nutritional value, there's no reason not to do it. This time, I'll also be sharing some super easy recipes that make use of the vegetables you've stocked up on. So please watch until the end. This is a way to store carrots. There are various methods, but this time I'll show you a storage technique that doubles the absorption rate of beta-carotene in carrots. Cut them into thin strips like this. This convenient size works well for soups, stir-fries, kimpira, and other dishes. They're a bit too thick to eat raw, but if you cut them this finely, the cell walls break down. By adding oil here, the absorption rate of beta-carotene increases. Of course, you can cut them even thinner if you like. This time, I prepared 3 carrots. Just chop as much as you want to stock up. When you want to use a little carrot, cutting them to about this size makes them very easy to use. And not just like this. Here, we add olive oil. It's like coating everything evenly. Adjust the amount based on how many vegetables you've cut. I think it's best to add enough oil so that it really blends in well. Make sure to coat everything thoroughly with the oil. By coating with this oil, it creates a protective layer. It also helps preserve nutrients like vitamin C in carrots, which easily oxidize. It also improves the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like beta-carotene. The most important point is to coat the ingredients by mixing them with this oil. This time, I'm using olive oil, but you can use rice oil, sesame oil, or any oil you like. Oils high in oleic acid are less likely to oxidize, making them better for this type of storage. The oil has mixed with everything. The more air you remove, the longer the freshness will last. So press out as much air as you can. That's it. In the refrigerator, it will last about 3 days. And you can also freeze it. If you freeze it, it will last even longer. Store it long term, but choose the method based on how you'll use it. This applies to leafy greens and most vegetables, but just a little. However, as time passes, they will wilt. So I recommend processing them as soon as possible after you buy them. I recommend processing them as soon as possible after you buy them. Bye. I'll add about half a cup of water in advance. This time, I want to use rice oil. It's pretty good, you know. Komatsuna is often associated with Japanese cuisine, isn't it? So, I want to make it with versatile rice oil. Then just close the lid like this and use the moisture from the Komatsuna itself, plus the cup of water we added with the sulfur. With just this amount of water and the oil, we'll steam it together. Let's eat. Komatsuna is high in beta-carotene, which your body absorbs better with oil. It also has potassium and calcium. It also has iron, sulfur, vitamin C, and other nutrients. It's full of nutrients that easily dissolve in water. Instead of boiling it in water, steaming helps lock in the nutrients without losing them. Since there's oil in this water, if you mix a small amount of water with it, the oil can coat everything evenly. Turn off the heat and leave it as is until it cools down a bit. A small amount of boiled water. I'll put this in as well. Make sure to remove all the air, and that's it. If you do it this way, just cut it a little. You can use it for ohitashi or in miso soup. It's really convenient because you can use it right away like this. There's no particular flavor added, so you can use it in various ways depending on the dish you're making. When you want a little bit of greens, having some stocked like this is really handy. This is cabbage. Cabbage is rich in vitamin C, which is a nutrient that helps reduce stress and prevent colds. It dissolves easily in water. Also, if you cut it too finely and store it, the vitamin C will oxidize. So it's better not to cut it too small if you want to preserve the nutrients. So after washing the cabbage thoroughly, lightly rub it with some salt. That way, it becomes much more convenient to use later. This time, we'll use a plastic bag like this. I'm going to put the cabbage in something like this and press it down to soften it a little. I'm washing the cabbage thoroughly. I'm going to roughly chop it into large pieces. For things like stir fries, they're already a good size to use as is, so if you cut them too big, they'll actually be harder to use. About large bite-sized pieces are best. I'm going to put them into a bag like this. My hands will get a little messy, but that's okay. After this, you'll see how it looks. Thank you very much. We're not actually pickling the vegetables. Please try not to add too much salt. Just sprinkle a little salt lightly. Once everything is mixed, that's enough. Then squeeze out all the air. If you prepare the kibetsu like this, you can cook it deliciously even with a short cooking time. It also doesn't release much water, so dishes like stir fries, such as hoikoro, won't turn out watery. This method helps you get a tasty result. The key point here is to make sure you squeeze out all the air. Please use it up within about 3 days in the refrigerator. Yes, just like this. If you do it this way, the salt will blend in a bit and the vegetables will soften slightly. However, thanks to this, even if you don't cook it for too long afterward, it will still turn out crisp and fresh. Please give this salted cabbage a try. If you freeze it, it will become quite limp, but if you're going to use it in stews or soups where it will be heated, there's no problem at all. It's an onion. When you want to use an onion, when you're peeling or cutting the skin, your eyes can start to hurt, and it can actually be a bit of a hassle, right? That's how onions are. With a little ingenuity, you can increase the nutritional value even more. There are various ways to store them. This time, I'll introduce a storage method that you can use as is, whether you heat it or not. If you cut the base part in a V shape, it will come apart easily. Slice the onion as thin as you like. This time, since we can use it raw, I'm cutting it a little thinner. Try cutting it to your preferred thickness. Slice it thinly like this. As you start cutting, the pungent components quickly evaporate and make your eyes sting. It turns into a fragrance. When it comes into contact with air, it turns into an irritant called allicin. This allicin helps thin the blood and prolongs the effects of vitamin B1. It also has antibacterial properties in the body, helping to eliminate viruses and suppress harmful bacteria in the intestines. Here, by spreading it out a little like this, you can increase the amount of allicin. The key is to let it sit before storing it. Leaving it for about 10 minutes should be just right. Now that some time has passed, I'll put this into a bag. You can refrigerate or freeze it as is, but here, this time I'll coat it with oil. This way, we also seal in the volatile component, allicin. Here, I'd like to use olive oil. It's easy to use for things like salads and marinades, so you can use it for potato salad and such. You can add these onions, or add mayonnaise or lemon juice, and it's also really delicious if you enjoy it together with fried foods. Refrigerate for 3 to 4 days or freeze to store it longer. Recipes matter for meals, but it's also key to align them with your body's rhythm. Expanding your knowledge of eating and lifestyle habits that support physiological functions can improve your health and boost performance. Every day, I'll share a little lesson with you, so please enjoy the changes in your mind and body. If you want to learn more about your body, food, and nutrition, let's meet at Raising Kia University, the school where you'll meet a new you in a year. I'm going to use these stalked carrots to make carrot Chijimi. Starting from this step, it becomes a really easy and nutritious dish. This is a recipe I definitely recommend for when you're having lunch alone. First, lightly saute the carrots. Since they're already oiled, Just use what you need and add them in. I want to make just enough for one pancake, so I'll saute the amount that spreads nicely in the frying pan. This will make a pancake about this size. If you saute them lightly, the carrots will become tender. Also, the sweetness will increase and they'll taste better. Let's saute the carrots like this. Let's have a sauteing contest. Let's do it together. Ready, go! Since there may be slight differences in the size of the eggs, we'll adjust the batter while checking its consistency at the end. Use chopsticks to scoop it up and aim for a consistency where it drops off in a dollop. That should be your guideline for the right thickness. Add the sauteed carrots to this mixture and stir them in. Adjust the doneness of the carrots to your liking. If you want a bit of crunch, you can leave them slightly firm. That's perfectly fine. The batter has come together like this. Now, add some sesame oil to the frying pan where you sauteed the carrots. Set the heat to medium and return the batter to the pan. The whole thing has started to cook through and firm up a bit. The parts of the batter that were whitish are starting to turn yellow. Press it down from the top as you cook it. When fully cooked, turn off the heat. The carrot-filled chijimi is ready. Try serving it with ponzu sauce or your favorite topping. This is steamed komatsuna with oil. This time, I'd like to add a little extra touch to this dish to make it even more nutritious. Here we have komatsuna and abarag, fried tofu. I'd like to toast this abarage in a toaster or fish grill. Then mix it together with the komatsuna to make this dish. Press it firmly with a paper towel like this. Remove the excess oil. This is the easiest way to drain the oil. Now, let's grill the abaraj. I'll make an appropriate amount, by the way. This is the broth from the Komatsuna. If you're making a soup dish, go ahead and use this broth. I've cut about this much Komatsuna, and I've grilled the abaraj. Now I'll cut the abaraj into strips. I'll add the abaraj to this bowl as well. Here, I'd like to season it with white dashi. You can also use mensuyu or a similar option. The seasoning can be adjusted as you like, so please make it to your preferred taste. You don't even need to prepare a pot anymore for making nimadashi. You can make it easily like this, so I really recommend it. It turned out with a really nice flavor. As for the cabbage, it's wilted a little like this. When you use raw cabbage, it tends to get watery or doesn't soften enough, making it hard to eat. But even if you stir-fry it, it cooks evenly, becomes tender, and turns out delicious. You can chop it up a bit more and make it like coleslaw too. It becomes much easier to handle. I had some sausages in the fridge, so I'm going to chop them up and add a little to this. I'm thinking of stir-frying this in a bit of a Chinese style. I'll add as much cabbage as I want to stir-fry. I'm going to add a little oyster sauce to give it some aroma. These sliced onions are coated with oil, so their spiciness is a bit milder. This time, I want to try making a very simple dish using chikwa. Yes, split it vertically down the middle and then slice it thinly on a diagonal. Chikwa is also very easy and convenient to use like this. Yes, you don't need to heat it or do anything else. This is onion. If you add too much, it can get a bit spicy, so just add a balanced amount like this. Actually, chikwa and onion go really well with mayonnaise. This is a slightly healthier mayonnaise, but just add a bit like this. Then add ponzu sauce. Using just ponzu is fine, but adding mayonnaise gives it more richness and makes it tastier. You can use as much ponzu as you like. So, this is a mayo ponzu mix. Adjust to your taste. You can also add kaiwari daikon here to make it look more colorful and appealing. How did you like the top vegetable storage tips? Prep in batches, put in extra effort, and store. Storing them makes them more convenient and nutritious, so cooking will be more enjoyable. Try anything that interests you. Thank you for watching until the end. Well then, let's meet again in another video.